Boy, it's been nice watching this whole thing grow, too. I mean, we're up to quite a number of followers and subscribers, and we want to thank all you people out there for watching when you do, and we hope to bring you things that are important and meaningful to you, and we hope you keep watching. So, on 3, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Boy, you guys don't follow instructions worth a damn.
We never did.
Forgot the 3 part.
Well, Merry Christmas from Talking Racine. Now, I'm going to change the introduction a little bit. You know, all year long, you've been the last guy introduced. This is Mr. Jim Spodek, our producer. Mr. George Myers, our statistician. Mr. Ken Lumpkin, the heart and soul of the program. And I'm Dr. Ken Jorgen, your host. Now, gentlemen, before we go any further, I got some personal business to take care of, all right? So, George, would you reach and grab one of these just at random?
Here we go.
Okay, and
this
Jim, would you take one?
I grabbed it.
This is scary.
Yeah.
Okay, now, this would be second prize.
It's going to be your fault, Jim. You're the producer.
I don't know what's going on.
You let him get away with this.
Read that number. This is
number?
second place.
It's on the other side?
Yeah.
Ticket. Oh, okay. 6-5. Is that number there? 6-5.
How many numbers are on the damn ticket, George?
6 of them. 653-229.
All right, great. Beautiful. And first prize is, Jim?
653-231.
Okay, thank you very much.
Boy.
Okay, that was just a little personal business, and my family out there watching, they understand what it's all about. You guys don't have to, maybe.
We were ployed.
Boy, I tell you what. This program goes anywhere.
Yes,
thank
it
God.
does.
Yeah, thank nobody's watching this one.
City sued for relocation costs. Oh, my God. What is that all about?
Well, this is the stuff that we brought up a year ago, and now they're finally catching up to us.
Boy, I hardly remember that. They're still doing it, huh?
That was episode 26 on relocation. We had actually brought up episode 9 on the Machinery Row.
Well, it's about time something finally got done with that. Nicole Larson is saying reasonable consideration will be given to Mr. Fagan's claims, whether they are presented to the RDA or presented to the court. Well, that's real nice because they were presented to the RDA and they were not given reasonable consideration, and that's why they're in court. So, I mean, that's just a propaganda statement there.
That's all it was. It was
Yeah.
an attempt to denigrate the person pursuing the lawsuit.
Yeah, that's quite a sore spot, and that's going to grow. I mean, there's a whole lot of other people that are, well, in fact, I think there's a couple of suits that are,
They're probably pending, I'm sure.
have they been filed yet?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I don't
They're
know.
written and on the way, though, right?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I mean, probably more than a couple.
They were looking at like half of that amount for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what they kind of set aside.
Listen,
Yeah.
we can get into it a little more. I know there's some groundswell of people that are kind of upset about this whole Machinery Row, and they're looking at the amount of money that the taxpayers are going to be stuck with. And I kept going back to, if you were in a private corporation and you had misappropriated funds, this was what really happened with Machinery Row, and the fact that it's costing the taxpayers multi-millions of dollars, they would have been shown the door. And somehow in city government that doesn't happen. And I think that people in the community are going to find out what really went on, and I think they're going to be disgusted with their local government.
Well, speaking of disgusting, why don't we get undisgusted? Would you like a cookie?
No, thanks.
I'm good.
George?
I'm good.
Jeez, I got these cookies from a patient of mine. These are all homemade. They're beautiful.
Oh, we'll eat some. Yeah.
And they're
Very
delicious.
Christmassy.
Yeah, I was going to bake a cake, because this is basically the end of the year for us.
is.
This is like I think Christmas is going to be our annual end of the year Talking Racine episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
And this is the 5th. I think this is number 50.
51. Well, actually, we're 54.
we
had
lost
some-
track.
yeah, well, we had a few we didn't put episodes on because they were like, and we'll show a couple of them, but they were additions to another episode. But we've had quite a few shows. I was really surprised at the amount we've done.
Well, this makes it easy to remember, though, if we do the annual.
We do the review on Christmas, and then New Year's. Well, we're going to talk about what's coming up because there's some things that we're going to be pushing for that people in the city council are going to be pushing for, and we're going to look at really opening things up
Right.
in 2018.
So have you guys all reviewed your contracts? You're ready to sign up again?
Yeah, make sure your checks are in the mail.
I have a quick question. Who's responsible for the relocation money, the actual money? Is it the city or the state?
The city of Racine, there's not an insurance that'll cover that. But one of the things that was done, you know, and we can get into it in later episodes, but there was an attorney firm hired that was hired to do the relocation, and they knew about relocation. They did not fulfill their requirements. So now when they come back and sue, I mean, shouldn't that insurance firm or attorney
Well,
firm?
a legal firm should be liable.
Yeah, they should be liable. And why isn't the city administration filing suit on the? I mean, this suit with Fagan for relocation on Machinery Row should trigger a lawsuit from the
Against
city
that attorney.
to that attorney
And that
firm.
attorney has insurance.
Correct.
On that
And
type of
why
thing.
is that not happening?
And
You know, there's probably reasons why.
They'd rather screw Fagan. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They
Why
gotta
did
get
nothing?
moved
And all of the other people that got displaced down there, they're going to be the bad guys.
Right. Well, that's how it works.
Yeah. Well,
And
and
the baseball guys, I mean, they've been
Yeah.
kicked out. I mean, the Fourth Fest floats, you know, you go on and on. I mean, you got Azarian Marina, you got Olson Aquatic Fish Farm, you got all of that. I mean, motocross tracks, you know,
you know, a lot of people didn't even know that was down there.
there was some cool stuff down there.
Yeah, I read an article that, well, you sent me the article, and there was kids that ride on these motocross bikes. They were excited about that
Oh,
track.
yeah, good-
Man,
good
it was
business
year-round. They could go down there, and it was like a world-class track, I guess.
I remember hearing something about over on Mound Avenue, some kind of relocation over there that the city was trying to do some development. Did they have any problem? The
Well,
person that-
Monty Osterman, the county board supervisor, was one of the people on Mound Avenue who was relocated,
Okay.
and he was handsomely
He did fine.
compensated.
Handsomely compensated and quickly.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't he close to the mayor at the time?
Oh, they called himself the
Vice mayor.
Vice mayor.
Oh, okay.
Not only the vice mayor, he was the county supervisor, who also was at one point the I don't know, director of Route Works, which knew that they were going to acquire Mound Avenue.
Well, why did he move in there if he knew that they were going to be taking that property?
Because he was handsomely rewarded for the move.
Well,
You
shouldn't
know,
he be
relocation.
advocating for these people that are affected
Be
the
out
same
there,
way? That,
absolutely, he should.
Yes,
But if
he's
you
been
read that
pretty silent,
lawsuit,
hasn't he?
you read the lawsuit, and you know what? I'm going to put it online for this. But you read the lawsuit from this guy. It says a lot in that lawsuit about how they actually had meetings to basically say we're not going to pay these folks down on Machinery Row. We're going to skip the relocation on these folks, and we're going to bum rush them out of there. It just so happened this particular guy did some heavy digging and was able to file suits, which triggered a lot more.
I hope they
But-
don't have meetings about us.
Now, they was talking about the project. You know, I know I missed some of the episodes being here. Now, what are they talking about? Demolishing some of the buildings now?
Yeah, that's the fantasy. They want to take possession of those properties, which have never really been in the possession of the city or the RDA. But because the person that they loaned the money to buy those things is in default on the loans, now those titles can legally be taken back by the city. Or not taken back, but the control of them can be assumed by the city through the RDA,
Okay.
which seems to be maybe that was the plan all along.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
There seems to have been goals set up a long time ago, back when Gary Becker was mayor, to, hey, those would be nicer in the hands of the government,
Right.
those Machinery Row projects. And so this was just to carry forward, and suddenly somebody came up with the scheme, and I'm just saying it. I mean, it looks like this
I
is
like
what
that
happened. Somebody
word,
came up with the scheme. Yes. All right, here's the way we can get it, because they can't just go in and grab them.
Right.
What we'll do is we'll loan money to this guy that's already backed out.
Yeah.
Rodney had already gone. He said, I'm out of it. We can't do
Now
it.
that's
I
the
can't get the
developer.
money. That's the
Right.
developer that was going to put the $65 million development up. So he backs out of it early in the year. Then they bring him back later in the year and say, okay, look, we want to loan you this money for these. Please be the straw man, so to speak. Take these loans. And then when he goes in default on that also, because he wasn't going to do the project, now the city has a lien against it.
Well, this
Now,
is
what
not-
happened to the money that
That went,
city-
that went to the sellers. That went to the
Yeah.
sellers of the
okay.
property.
Went to the sellers, but then again, there was a secret escrow account to cover Rodney Blackwell's costs, and actually bribed him with his escrow money or seed money. He got back, plus his it was a commission paid, or I don't know what it was exactly, another $80,000. So there was, you would really consider that a bribe.
So Blackwell have money that the city have paid.
Yeah, when he first started
Yeah,
on the
he
project,
gained a little bit out of
he
it.
put some earnest
Yeah.
money down. $5,000 of property. Then they extended it. He put another $5,000. So he had per property. So that was two $15,000 deposits made in earnest money that he was going to buy these properties, and if something came wrong, he would lose. That's the way a buyer works.
Yeah, it's an option.
If you lose it,
You lose it, you lose it.
the
You take your shot,
$30,000.
you lose it,
So
yeah.
when they brought him back in and said, "Hey, listen, we want you to take these properties and we'll loan you the money," part of the deal was that he would get those $30,000 back,
Oh, okay.
and that was through this kickback. Instead of
Yep.
$4.5 million, they took $450,000, which is 10% of it, for the kickback. All right, so they paid him the 30, his party 80, and the other thing that was real interesting is part of the deal is while this project was getting developed, he would at least pay interest on the loans.
Okay.
Well, that came out of the kickback.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he paid
so
absolutely
taxpayer-
nothing. He was gone.
Yeah, the
He strictly
taxpayer
was a true straw
So
man.
he have no investment in it.
Nothing.
Well, we don't want to make this a machinery row
Right.
episode.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Let's go look at some of the shows we did over
yeah.
there.
'Cause
Oh.
this is kind of a pat ourselves on the back episode
Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
at the end of the year. Where
That's scary.
machinery row is one thing that we've talked about, and that's really come to a head now.
Yep, it's
And
going to
we
be
talked
on
about-
the agenda for 2018.
We talked about the arena, and really, I can't remember anybody talking about the arena and raising too many questions about it before we were on board
Right.
with it.
Well, one of the things I think that, I always go back to, what we talked about $100 million in debt. I never heard that from, and now I hear people in the community saying, the city was $100 million in debt. And that's something that I feel really that we put those numbers on. I think,
Yeah.
George, you're actually the ones that brought it up and went through the budget and then started to bring it to the community. And it's a good idea to know how much indebtedness you are for future projects. Can we afford this? Can't we afford that?
Oh,
it just
hell yeah.
makes
You
good
can't run a
sense.
household without knowing
Right.
how much your mortgage is. Jeez, I mean,
exactly. So I think that's one thing I can say. I feel we can be credited
Yeah,
for.
we
Yeah.
pushed that. And I remember when we first came out, it was almost apologetically. Everybody seemed to be for it. This was a big thing. It was going to rescue Racine. And
Yeah.
we're saying, hold on a second here, folks. We got this problem, and it was circling around the debt, and it was going to cost us $45 million at the time. That raised up to $55 million later on. And then a fellow by the name of Dennis Monte, who is now running for alderman, very interestingly, he went out and got all those signs out in the neighborhoods
Right,
too.
right.
So between
Yeah.
our educational process here and the signs that were out there, we turned the whole darn thing got turned around.
Yeah.
well, Dennis is a guest on the show here, too. We've interviewed him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it was episode
Yeah.
26.
Well,
It was a key campaign issue too. And
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It turned to be a key
Yeah.
campaign, and every single mayoral candidate, as it turned out.
In
had
fact,
to turn around against
the guy who's mayor now, Corey Mason, was in favor of that arena. I'm sorry, Corey, you can't
He did.
you can't escape that one.
He
When
started
he
out.
did that interview with Gateway, he specifically mentioned the arena as a project that he wanted to see go forward. But to his credit, when he was out on the campaign trail and he was hearing from other candidates that this is a bad idea, and he was talking to people at the doors, and they were saying, no, not a good idea. I don't want the arena. He switched his position, and he fought very hard against the arena. And had he not vetoed that arena, of course,
It would've
if
gone through.
Alderman Widener would have won, she would have absolutely vetoed it as well. So,
Right.
but had he not vetoed that, it very possibly could have gone forward.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah, I
it
think
was
so
on the
as
track to
well.
do
Oh,
it. If it was his veto, to stop it. The staff was continuing on with it. So it
Some
was
of
that
them are
was
still ticked off about it.
oh yeah, that it didn't go through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it-
You guys want to play a few of the
we-
episodes?
yeah,
from
yeah.
here?
Let's see.
Sure,
some
what do you
things we
got?
Covered.
You, because we know that the portrayal is going to be, or has tried to be, he's just some guy down here who's doing some carpentry shit or whatever, and we had to get him out of there. So we wanted to expose the fact that you're actually like a craftsman, and you had a lot of valuable equipment down there. They gave you no time to get out. They didn't help you at all with getting out, and you've been pretty much ever since then. and nobody has really stepped up and extended a hand. So,
No.
yeah. So that's the story we want to get out, and I think we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get some play around with it.
That was
Patrick Fagan.
that.
Yeah.
That was this guy. So,
Yeah.
now there's a suit here, but that was done. That was episode 26, so that was probably done. I think that was early middle spring.
Yeah.
That we had interviewed actually
May
a
or
couple
June,
times.
somewhere in there.
Yeah. So, and that was one of the times that he had already gotten a letter from the Department of Administration stating that you are a displaced person, contrary to what the city of Racine believed.
Right, and that the city of Racine had that information from the Department of Administration
June
that
9th.
they owed him compensation for relocation.
Right, and they bum rushed him.
So this, he's going to get a fair hearing. I mean, come on.
That's
He would've-
the city.
he
He
would've-
might get one later on.
Well, he would have had it already if he were sincere.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
All right, let's see what this one is. This is
Play around with the question a little bit. Did any crimes take place during this whole redevelopment thing? George, would you maybe review what the responsibilities are of the administration, the mayor, and the city council, and some of the various players that were involved in this project?
But when the question is who is responsible for the decision that we are going to spend money, or the city time and money on this particular venture?
Mm-hmm.
And that basically is with the Common Council. Now, in order for the Common Council to do a good job at this, it's got to have information. You can't just start guessing at things.
Yeah, being well informed would be an advantage.
Being very well informed, because if it's got the data that it needs, then it can make a good decision. If it's got bad data and thinks it's got good data, it's going to make a.
That was when Machinery Row, that was episode 9, and we brought that up about Machinery Row and how they were given no information on that kickback and the $4.5 million. So, when you talked about bad information, there was no information, and it was actually it was not given at all to the Common Council or the RDA.
It was in fact concealed from them.
Exactly.
Well, that's where we brought up the whole thing about the firewall.
Right.
Because there was a deliberate attempt to block them from getting information. The Common Council is the governing body; they're supposed to be responsible to it, not the mayor, not the staff, but to get the council out of the picture, block them from getting information, and then the staff and the mayor can have a free will at it.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't
That was-
easy
that was
for us to
basically-
get the information. I mean, you were digging, and several other people were digging, and it's hard to get that
Oh, yeah.
information. I mean, this is not like.
When you do a criminal act, you're not exactly ready to expose it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the way we presented it, we were.
With kickbacks and stuff like that, you don't want to.
Nah.
And they didn't have that information.
No.
All they knew was that the sale was $4.5 million.
And then you would tell them, and they would look at you like, "Oh my, there's you can't, you know,
You just don't understand.
you don't understand.
Yeah.
You just don't, you're just disgruntled." And then we went on, and you actually did some explaining.
Explanating?
Explanation.
Yeah.
Explainerating? One more. Okay, here we go. Machinery Row. One more time. The whole idea of Machinery Row was apparently a product of the fertile mind of our mayor and the administration, who somehow hooked up with this developer down in Iowa by the name of Rodney Blackwell. So that's how you make $1 million disappear. I mean, it's taxpayer money that is like gone for nothing, not to mention all of the time and energy that's been invested by people working on this project. So keep in mind, this is just Machinery Row. The next thing coming down the pike is this convention center and arena that they're promoting. Well,
That was a excellent episode. That was an addition to the other episode, and it
Yeah.
did bring a lot of information out there. It was fairly concise, and I think it helped people understand how that money was shifted in that Machinery Row project. It's still a lot more education on it, but that was
Yeah, there's Machinery Row is going to be, well, I think you've called it the arena on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a much trickier, much more complicated scene. The arena was pretty simple to understand. But the Machinery Row needs to go the same route that the arena did. I mean,
Yeah.
that gracefully ended, and we're done with it. We need to do the same thing with Machinery Row. We'll see if we can be successful in that.
Yeah, well, we don't have it all fleshed out yet. I mean, we've been working on it, and other people have been working on it, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Department of Justice really needs to step in and
Well, that's one of the things because I know there was a complaint, and I think it was episode 26. Dennis Monti was on the show, and he filed a complaint with the sheriff's department.
I think was it in June that he filed it, I think, or May?
April.
It was way back in April?
April.
Wow.
And he filed it, and there's really been no action on that at all. And there's been some inquiries made, and we don't know anything. I don't want to use the word cover up yet, but
I'll use it.
okay.
Yeah, and I'll keep it available to
Because
you.
you have to remember, this is a big deal, and this is a lot of money, and we're talking probably pushing $10 million now. I mean, this is not when you talk about knocking down the buildings, the amount of money that was spent, and you've got excess of $10 million.
Well, they're talking about $6.5 million to knock down the buildings.
And to borrow that money.
Yeah, they're going to borrow $6.5 million.
So,
And that's to knock down buildings that just not that long ago were considered historically significant.
right.
Historical
Now
tax
they're just in the way.
credits,
Yeah.
So now we brought up the
Wow.
arena, which you brought up after, and that was, and this is kind of a fun one we did on the arena, just kind of a parody to The Simpsons.
We got to get that Allentown film. We got to find out where that's going. I know that wasn't just played here in Racine. I'm sure other communities are getting played the same tune, and their aldermen are probably sucking at the bit
my
too.
gosh.
So it's a scam.
A town with money's a little like the mule with a spinning wheel. No one knows how he got it, and danged if he knows how to use it. Mule. The name's Lanley, Lyle Lanley. And I come before you good people tonight with an idea. Probably the greatest.
You're going to get a whole lot of information. You're going to know an incredible amount more than you knew before about both the design and the financing. And if you like what you've heard, you'll be in a position to start moving forward on.
Oh, it's not for you. It's more of a Shelbyville idea.
Now, wait just a minute. We're twice as smart as the people of Shelbyville. Just tell us your idea and we'll vote for it.
Two things. The first thing is that southeastern Wisconsin can accept one of these. The numbers aren't really there for 2 or 3 in southeastern Wisconsin.
All right? I tell you what I'll do. I'll show you my idea. I give you the Springfield Monorail. I've sold monorails to Brockway, Ogdenville, and North Haverbrook, and by gum, it put them on the map.
So now you're seeing them, they start to make the ice here. The ice is only about 3/4 of an inch thick. So they set it up for hockey. You can also do Disney on Ice, Ice Capades, those kind of things.
There's nothing on earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail. What'd I say?
Monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail.
That's right, monorail.
I was really inspired by a great plan, and we really feel like Phase 1 probably is that great plan we need to reinvigorate the county and the country.
So there was the arena.
I mean, I think The Simpsons had it
very
figured
own
out.
monorail. Yeah, that was.
That was just
what an
that was
analogy.
beautiful,
That was
man. That was just absolutely
Oh my gosh! I mean,
so spot on.
so that pretty much tells a little bit about how the arena went. But one of the things, I mean, I don't know. Right at the very end, a miracle. They're going to get a $30 million, and it keeps coming up. This $30 million developer is going to come in. I think it was the Hammis was going to build.
Yeah, the Hammis Group. They just got $600,000 to promote the idea, and now the thing is tanking, and so they come in at the last minute and they say, "Well, wait a minute, we'll build a $30 million hotel."
Yeah. You never saw anything. You never saw the contract.
No.
If they had a contract signed for $30 million, they'd have been screaming at the top of their lungs. And that was all BS.
Well, and there was 10 points that they said that they had to be satisfied before they would move forward with the arena.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And boy, did they stretched it to the limit to try and intimate that 6 of those had been met. Really, 1 or 2 of them had. And the others there was discussion on, but they made it sound like it was really on solid ground. Not at all. It was just all promotion, just like the monorail.
Exactly.
Why don't we have a monorail anyway? I think we should have a monorail instead of an arena.
Yeah, we need one of those.
There you go.
We could bring people from Kenosha up to the beach.
We could bring Homer in to promote it.
Yeah.
All right, this was the firewall. This is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
that's
too.
a good one, yeah.
Plan, which you forgot to point out, the years moving forward, we restructured our debt to a point where, if you look closely, just about disappears by the term 2030, and in the next couple of years, it goes down to one of the historic low levels. Why does it do that?
Anybody can put lines on paper. I've done so right here. And if you notice,
Nice graph.
it's going down here. And what I've graphed here,
You should help Dickert.
this is the mayor's popularity rating. And if you notice, it's getting down near zero. So go ahead and fire up the video there again.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's been a good time this year, you know. In spite of all of the graft and corruption, criminal activity, and just desperation in this community, I think we've had a pretty good time.
Yeah. I mean, John Dickert was one of our favorites, so I mean, you got to admit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just was so arrogant, and he would just give you so much material. I mean, sometimes it was so much material, I didn't know how to pick it. You know? I was like,
Let's do 3 shows this week.
Yeah, you can do 3 shows on John Dickert alone.
Remember the old Desi Lou Productions? Remember Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz? Remember they put out The Untouchables?
Yep.
Probably some of the viewers remember that. I mean, The Untouchables, man. That would have made a great series right here in town.
You could pull it off here.
Oh, yeah. I think old Johnny Dickert, man, he would have been a prime character in a series about crime.
And then, of course, we had it as a special guest.
Yeah, yeah. He was looking good there.
Yeah, he was.
Returning for the second time, Mayor John Dickert. I'm Dr. Ken Jorgensen. A deposition is a sworn testimony.
Testimony.
It's like being a court.
It's a sworn interrogation.
You had to raise your arm on this one, John. I know that.
You had to swear to tell the truth.
Yeah. Ooh, well,
how'd that work out?
Well, we're going to take a look. Let's take a look. How'd that work out on finding out you had some illegal?
And on Exhibit 81, and under your system, we accepted several illegal campaign contributions. That's what it says, right? You walking out? Don't turn the camera on.
The deposition's over.
You walking out?
The deposition's over, Brian. Enough with the theatrics.
We accepted several illegal contributions. What'd you do about it?
I did not. The deposition's over.
What'd you do about it?
Deposition's over. We agreed 415.
So if you notice there, he actually did acknowledge that there were illegal contributions accepted because he said, I told him to clean them up.
He told him to get rid of them, that's right. When they asked him what they were, what were they?
Yeah, John, what were they? I mean, other than you committed perjury.
So why is that complaint that was up, it went to the police department, the sheriff's department, the district attorney, it's been up to the attorney general's office, Department of Justice?
I don't know.
Come on, Jim, what's the answer?
I don't know. I tell you what, I think law enforcement's afraid of white-collar crime. I think it's difficult. I think they put people that are in these positions of power, and they're afraid to take them out. Even though the trust of the citizens, government is deteriorating because of the trust of people in power that they know are corrupt. And unless law enforcement steps up, which may be involved with it. I mean, I don't know. There's
I don't think it's so much the white-collar crime itself. It's the people in power.
Yeah.
Their white-collar crime. And we're seeing it all the time. We're seeing it at the federal level, certainly a lot of it. If you're a common business person, you can go to jail for
stating
this kind of something
stuff,
about your investment
I wonder if they don't fear the destabilization of the whole social structure if they go after these people. Maybe they're concerned that we will lose confidence in our government, and they're protecting us. And I got to say to you guys, don't worry about it. If you put these guys in jail, we'll be happy. I swear, we will. We'll enjoy watching them go to the can. So do your job.
Yeah, I agree. Do your job. It's time to don't worry about the kid with a bag of weed on the corner who somehow ends up and goes through the court system. And again, we got the highest incarceration rate of African American males in the country, and even more than that. But we seem to have a problem with positions of power and graft, and we seem, let's just close our eyes and we walk away from it. And that's got to stop.
Well, I think it's time for me to use my personal power and let you guys know next year you're getting coal if you don't straighten out and do your job. Huh?
She's scary.
Yeah. All right, let's see what this is. Oh, this is Foxconn. This is the one we caught a lot of graph on Foxconn when we first came out.
A lot of graph. Chaff.
Graph. I'm just thinking graph. That was on July 31st, 2017. It was just announced by the governor, and we caught. We had said, hey, we got some real questions about this, and I think there's still a lot. I mean,
well, just a little healthy skepticism. I mean,
and we were. I thought, but we got a lot of notice on that one, and that which was okay, But I don't think, and we haven't backed down on it at all. But that was the first. We were the first ones that came out and said, maybe this isn't such a great deal. Sometimes the curse of the wind type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there were other people that were skeptical about it, but there wasn't much in the public venue. I mean,
I don't think it's fair to say that we're totally opposed to it. It's like the arena. It wasn't that we were opposed to the arena. We just didn't want a taxpayer-funded arena.
Exactly.
Right? And in this one, all we're saying is, let's go in there and take a look at it. We are putting a lot of money into it, government-wise. I mean, if they were just coming in and setting things up, probably nobody would be saying anything.
Right.
But when we got $3 billion from the state, almost $1 billion from the local governments, it's maybe better just check a couple things out, and that's all we've said.
Yeah, if you can do it without destroying the
check
environment and enslaving the population and bankrupting the state financial stature, then great.
Well, this was what we did catch we got a lot of mail on this one, probably the most.
There's a whole lot of people out there scrambling to try and come up with a reason not to like this, Walker said in Eau Claire. I can tell you that's fine, but I think they can go suck lemons. Friends, welcome to the Lemonade episode.
Good news, 10,000 jobs coming in Racine County, until I saw this picture in the front of the Racine Journal-Times. And I saw all those politicians across the stage there, and I said, hold on a second.
It was a scary sight.
It's still scary.
I still like we got down, and the last time we covered this, we got down to 2 suggestions, which I'm just going to review here real quickly. One was that they get a cultural expertise team out there to help with the negotiations, because when you're dealing with foreign companies, it's almost like you need an interpreter, not just for the language, but for how they think about contracts. And the other was industry-specific expertise. In other words, you're dealing with a certain industry here. You're going out 30 years. You need someone that comes in and understands the LCD, TV, technology industry, and how is that going to be doing in 30 years.
Right.
Those are the only. I think that's what, at least for me, it got down to those 2 things. Do those 2 things. Get your knowledge better about what's going on here, and then if you still like it, you still think it's great, pour your money into it, and good luck.
Well,
there seems to be an awful lot of faith being exercised.
Yeah, there's a lot of faith, and I'll be honest, I still sticking to mine. I just think it's an absolute disaster waiting to happen. It's just a matter of time. I just do not see this turning out good, and I don't see this huge amount of money that's being spent by the state and the local government here. It's going to be a big, big problem down the road. And I just, this is how I feel about it. I just do not feel confident.
Well, it's a big threat to the environment, too, to the water and the land and the air. Well, it's been fun, huh?
Yep.
It's been a good year.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking forward to another good year coming up. And, boy, it's been nice watching this whole thing grow, too. I mean, we're up to quite a number of followers and subscribers, and we want to thank all you people out there for watching when you do, and we hope to bring you things that are important and meaningful to you, and we hope you keep watching. So, on 3, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. 1, 2, 3, Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Boy, you guys don't follow instructions worth a damn.
We never did.
Forgot the 3 part.
Thanks for being here.